bullshit and doesn't give a That's right, like you.
For 1 second.
You're like a criminal.
How many names you want?
Why? Because you know you're a right?
There's no one else.
Those people are gonna know you're an ass when I walk out of here too. You're gonna get sued from this. Take that food, throw it away. Throw it all away. Shut it down. Nobody eats. Clean this damn kitchen. I'm the out of here.
So for our communication analysis, we chose John Taffer, the guy you heard going absolutely berserk. How can a guy who sounds like an unhinged maniac help hundreds of bars every year turn their fortune around? We're going to show you throughout this presentation. If you couldn't tell from that video, John is no nonsense. He doesn't like to embrace excuses. He embraces solutions. He gets things done, and that reflects in how he communicates things to his audience. We're going to structure our presentation like an episode of John's show, Bar Rescue. We're going to start off with some recon on John. We're going to see how he rose to the top of the hospitality industry. Next, we're going to put John through our leader communication stress test. We're going to see how he holds up as a provocateur, a direction setter, and an innovative coach. And lastly, we're going to relaunch John Taffer and hopefully relaunch how you think a leader can effectively communicate. To start every episode of his show, Bar Rescue, John does recon on the bar he hopes to stay. He scouts them out, sees what their strengths and weaknesses are. So we're going to do a little scouting report on John Taffer. John first went into the industry in 1973 when he became a bartender. He then became a bar manager quickly in 1978. And by 1989, he had owned and operated his first bar. By 1994, he was already a prominent player in the industry and came on as an advisor to the NFL. In his work with the NFL, he's credited with creating the NFL Sunday Ticket. This allows local viewers to view out-of-market games. So if you're watching an NFL game of a different team, you can thank John Taffer for that. And in 2011, John launched what is one of my personal favorite shows, Bar Rescue. John goes across the country to help, quote unquote, save hundreds of bars and owners who have accumulated hundreds, if not millions, in debt. He does so by strict coaching, implementing new systems, and, as you saw in the video, a little bit of public humiliation. So now we're going to put John Taffer through our stress test. In the show, during his stress test, John packs a bar with hundreds of people and see what employees can handle the heat and the pressure. So we're going to see if John can handle the heat of our test for him. Mel, how does John hold up as a provocateur?
Thank you, Zach. Why is John Taffer considered a provocateur? If we're looking at John's quote on this slide, we can see this is a provocateur. This is because he enjoys shaking things up. John has been shaking up bars of fortune without a shaker nor a stirrer, pun intended. John provokes a conflict to cause a disequilibrium and to challenge the status quo. The shock value of his method have brought to fore multiple problems within companies. John Taffer also control the conflict to positive turbulence that he creates. John also is a very strong person because in addition to all of this, he has made sure that he creates a brainstorming sessions that finally everyone in the staff and also in the company find as a method of creativity that really forge the path forward for both the staff and the company. And I would say he made an art of verbal jousting and ensuring that all the brainstorming sessions that he has can move everybody forward to make sure that everything works well. And now I'll turn it over to Martina for more talks about John, the direction setter.
Thank you, Mel. So John Taffer is a direction setter. Beyond his television persona, he has an extensive background in public speaking, which makes him a highly experienced communicator, able to grab people's attention, build awareness and understanding, and persuade people to act. But how does John Taffer's personality make him a direction setter? So we looked at three main aspects of his personality in order to answer this question. First, he's authentic. As he mentioned in many podcasts and interviews, as you can see here, none of what you see on the show is scripted or staged. Everything he says is personalized to the person and the situation, and this helps him to grab people's attention and be credible. Furthermore, he implements direct communication. So all his observations are direct and clear, building on awareness and understanding. At the same time, as Mel also mentioned before, he has this tough television persona that he does on purpose. It's deliberate, and as he finds it to be the only way to change the people on the show and persuade them to take action. When talking about persuading people to take action, another important aspect of his personality is that he's empathetic. So he really gets emotionally involved. He fights with the people on the show, for them, with them, and this is what makes him a direction setter. And now Ben will further explore how John Taffer is an innovative coach.
Thanks, Martina. Now let's test John Taffer's street smart communication style to prove how he's an innovative coach. But before we do, let's top off our understanding of what it means to be an innovative coach. As we learned in Leader as Communicator, an innovative coach is someone who actively fosters new ways of thinking in an organization. Innovative coaches regularly look for opportunities of continuous improvement in their organizations, and as we heard in Provocateur, are even willing to shock others out of their inertia. Innovative coaches also look to guide their organizations toward the intentional behaviors that lead to the highest impact. Also, innovative coaches ensure that everyone on the team effectively collaborates and contributes so that everyone is bought in on the mission. Through his communication as a leader, John Taffer exhibits all of these traits. In fact, as we can see here, his consistent ability to transform multiple businesses across so many industries has earned him some well-deserved media coverage. Now let's get a sense of how he transforms bars from money pits to money makers through some of his quotes. Here's how he likes to recast focus. If I focus on telling you what to do, I'm not going to change you. But if I can make you think different, make your eyes and ears go to different places, make your brain land in a different place, I have no choice but to change what you do. Here's an example of how he redefines himself and is a visionary leader. The restaurant industry is not about serving food and beverages. It's about creating reactions. And those who create the greatest reactions win. And here's how we know he's an industry pioneer. My consulting work was wide-ranging. After I reassembled ComSat's out-of-market sports concept with slick ads and promotions, the NFL hired me to join their advisory board. And I worked for the NFL for 2 years, helping to create what is now NFL Sunday Ticket. Now to showcase his expertise and credibility as an innovative coach and as a communicator further, let's watch this brief clip from his 2017 keynote address.
And somebody comes into my hotel and says to me, John, I got a bar promotion for you. I listened. I was a young punk. I said, okay. And he put in this promotion, and 3 weeks later, my revenues were up by 40%. For the first time, I didn't have a labor cost problem. Suddenly, my marketing numbers worked. We don't have expense problems. All we have are revenue problems. Think about it.
Thanks, Zach. Now, as you saw in this clip, John Taffer intentionally redirects the focus of his audience, bar and business owners, who focus too much of their time on expenses, and he focuses them on what matters, revenue and profitability, and he does so in a way that compels us to listen. Well, colleagues, thanks for staying with us for the BC3 relaunch. We find that through his abrasive communication style, John Taffer passes our stress test. His bombastic personality, empathetic leadership, and dynamic communication style helped him as a communicator to rescue bars and people as a
Direction setter.
and innovative coach. Well, colleagues, like Taffer often says at the end of an episode,
Our work here is done.
Here.
Thank you.